Hi, my name is Lori B. I'm a traditional artist, and I work very much pencil and paper here, so I'm going to be drawing this way. Some of you might know me from, I travel the comic convention circuit, and show off my stuff, and I'm very well known for my pin-up style of art. So actually today's lesson is going to be, I'm going to draw you a pin-up girl. I draw in a very cartoony style. It's very sexy, very cute. It borders on that sexy cute. I'm going to be drawing a full body for you, and I'm just going to, rather than bore you with this plain piece of paper, I'm just going to start away with some thumbnails here. This is a great way to get loose, and you'll hear a lot of artists talk about just drawing circles and just loosening up the wrist and loosening up the joints of the finger. As I go here today, I'm going to talk to you, you'll hear me talk about pose and gesture, line of action, anatomy, proportion, and straight up construction, how to construct your pieces together. And then later on in the lesson I'm going to get into some like facial expression, hands and feet. That's a big one artists tend to struggle with. And then later on, eventually, I'll get into some hair and some clothing and just finishing touches kind of stuff. So, I start very much with the head, as you saw me here, just a ball, and then a line that kind of travels through the spine. This is a line of action, and a lot of C curves, a lot of S curves. This, you could look at this whole thing as one big S curve. Here I'm just doing a very knees together. She's looking kind of maybe shocked or surprised, like, ooh, a birthday cake for me, that kind of thing. I'm just working out some pose ideas here, so I'm not sure what we're going to end up with here today, but I like to draw nice big eyes. Some of the tools that I like to work with here today, I'm working with just a mechanical pencil. I like it because it stays constantly sharp to the size that I like my lead. This I think is a 0.7. Doesn't break so often. I find the 0.5s snap a little bit. Depends on how heavy-handed you are, I guess. And then I also have here a kneadable eraser. You can get these easily at art stores or craft stores, even Michael's. And you can apply. I love them because I can thin it out quite a lot here and just lift away some of the heavy-handed lines here, but still have enough of a hint. I hope the camera is picking that up. But still have enough of a hint of my original pose in here that I can just start. Because it can get really messy as you're kind of finding your way. But very non-committal lines, and then you can just very easily with a kneadable eraser. You can also get in quite detailed here. Let me use two hands. That's better. And it can actually take away quite a lot of the graphite. So that's kind of one pose. It's like a nice arch in the back. Bum sticking out. Nice, you know, kneecaps are lifted and the thighs are tight, and I might just do like a little bit of a pigeon toe here. Something like that. Ooh, there we go. What's she looking at? We're not sure. I don't know. But just keeping it loose, like I said. Okay, so that's one idea. Try something else here. Maybe I'll just do something a little bit more, like a more poised, kind of confident model, just kind of standing there. tilt in the shoulders, if you're going to have a tilt in the shoulders this way and tilt in the hip this way, there's always a counter action to your pose. And there's that C-curve again. And like I said here, we're just dragging that out like an S-curve right through to the legs. Line of action, you hear a lot of books, or read in a lot of books, or hear a lot of artists say, line of action flows through the spine. And then where does it go after that? I struggled with that for a long time, well, okay, there's the curve through the spine, but where does, it's as if we had a tail kind of thing, and I didn't understand where that line of action went after the spine. And, you know, it can flow right through down the leg if you were doing something like an action pose. That line of action might come right through to a leg. And someone throwing a kick or something like that. Right? So it's following the spine, but also it goes right out the top of the head, and it can flow right through a character, right down to their toe, if you want. Basically, if you can find a way to make that flow through your character, you've done a good job. You've found some flow and some rhythm in your pose. So I'm just filling out like a rib cage to adhere to this line of action or this spine. So I just do like this kind of slightly teardrop, upside down teardrop shape for the rib cage. And I just draw a little ball for the middle section. And then a little more squashed, a little wider bit for the hips. I did it here too, but I think I erased those lines away pretty quick. If this hip is tilted like this, that hip is high, and that leg is bearing all the weight. So that leg's going to be straight. Just going to lighten this up a bit in general. There's my line. Line of action. And I'm just starting to build over top of that line with some volume, some shapes. There's just kind of like a tapering cylinder here. I just do a ball for the knee. I do the same thing for elbows and shoulders. And kind of like a diamondy tapering cylinder here, and some feet. And because this leg, as we determined, is bearing all the weight because the hip is high here, this knee could be bent. Now, I could bend it out, but that looks a little bit masculine to me. So, sexy, cute thing is to bend the knees in together. Just do something like that. Now, what are we going to do with her arms? Shoulder action there. Let's put one arm resting on her hip like that. Even in my looseness and just doing thumbnails and non-committal and just getting warmed up, I'm still paying attention to that the upper arm here is going to be approximately the same length here. I don't want the elbow to jut out high and have an extra long forearm, right? And maybe this other arm could be out like this, and maybe she's got her little purse hanging here, something like that. Shoulder, upper arm, elbow. That forearm really tapers down to the wrist. Can move that in a little bit. There we go. Now, which way would she be looking? something like this. This is eye line here, and this is the center line here. I always draw the eyes anchor to the eye line, the bottom of the eye anchors to the eye line. And as we follow that back, the ear, top of the ear, hits that eye line as well. There we go. This is just collarbones. And then I still, even though I have drawn pinups for several years now, I still construct my character. I break this down. You saw me construct a rib cage, basically abdomen and pelvic, pelvis, a pelvic bowl here. It's so important to get your character looking solid. And then, as I was mentioning, I'll talk to you about clothing too, clothing and costuming. And she could be wearing a skirt right down to the floor, but it's still important to know where her legs are underneath that skirt, because it could change the way that the creases fall, or where the pleats fall, or anything. And then, you know, her feet popping out underneath that skirt had best be placed in the right spot. Otherwise, if they're off, then she'll look like she's about to fall over, or she'll look like these feet are just not hers, not attached to her. So there's another kind of thumbnail pose. Let me do one more here. I don't know where this is going. Well, once I know the shapes that I'm using here, think of that line of action as being like beads on a string, basically. So we know that the head is here, the rib cage is here, and attached to the abdomen, attached to the ribs, legs. But once this line curves, all those beads still thread on that same string. This pose is looking a lot like the last, but we'll see how I could maybe switch it up here. Get her facing the other way. So even though this S curve and this S curve are very similar, not thrilling me. Oh, I know. Let's do something like this. Where this front leg is going to cross out in front of that body. And I'll maybe put her back leg in behind. I'm going to draw through as if I can see right through her. There we go. And maybe this girl will be... So one little sexy, cute trait that I like to incorporate is which direction are the eyes looking. So she, for all intents and purposes, is heading this way, but she's going to be given like a a little smirk as she looks back over her shoulder. Maybe someone was checking her out and she knew it. She's just giving a little glance back. Really getting into your character, what their thought process might be, what they're thinking. It helps me find that sexy, cute attitude, I guess. There we go. And then hair is just, I'll do something different with this thumbnail. I'll put her hair kind of up. Sweep it up into maybe this cute ponytail. And it's just volumes and shapes. And then what can her... Okay. What can her arms be doing? I think maybe... she's like twirling a little umbrella or something. I don't know. It's just about being loose and finding a pose. And then I'm going to pick one of these poses and I will execute it in a very refined, not so scratchy and loose and messy like this. Oh, a nice straight back too, that's cute. Right up through the back of the neck there. Because over-pronounced posture is just very pin-up. So figure out where the middle of her chest is, where the pecs are. I can build up a volume of breast over top of that. Very cute. So I'm all over the place here and just filling out the basics of this pose here. I think this would be cuter if this was like one of those Japanese style umbrellas. Super cute. And then I might put her in like a kimono or something. But just to show off some more of her legginess, I might do like a very cut off kimono. Super cute like that. Okay, that's some thumbnail ideas, and I think I'm just going to take a break in the recording, and I will choose one of these ones and kind of draw it up into a larger sheet, a nice clean sheet, get a good clean line. I won't bore you guys with that, but I will return to you shortly with just a rough pose, and we will get into more of this detail stuff when I return.